Buddy, how you doing? This is the EDF Sports. We're gonna go live right now for the NFL draft, and we have our friend Matthew coming in, our EDF Sports fantasy expert. Matt, how are you doing?
I am good, sir. How's things with you?
I'm doing great. Are you ready for the fun?
I am ready for the fun. Got my sheet ready and positions who should go where. So let's see if there are any surprises today.
That's right, especially right off the get go here, because with the pickup of Bridgewater, do you feel that that's going to hurt Denver's chances of getting a quarterback?
No, I think for them at the moment, the key for them is they need Carl Pitts. I think that for them, there's certain players you can't pass on, and I think he is one of the guys of the Panthers need a quarterback more than the Broncos do.
That's true. That's true.
So for them, I think that's the lowest he can move, because the Cowboys are between Patrick Surtain or Carl Pitts. So
right,
the Broncos have to strike now.
The Cowboys, do you think they're going to go with that? My feeling is they're going to go with the cornerback. I think they need more help on the defense than they do on the offense. What do you think?
Well, no, I mean, I was doing my research on it, and the reason why I've got the Cowboys taking Patrick Surtain is that if you look at last year, the Cowboys gave up 34 passing touchdowns last year, a bit like the Titans, while they'll take Greg Newsome. They have to take a cornerback early on.
Exactly, I agree. So then you think that Denver is going to stay with their pick, though, right?
Yeah, I think. Yeah, for me, I think. I know the Pats. There's talk of the Pats bit trading up. I think it's going to be very difficult for us to make it into the top 10 now.
You don't think they have a chance at all, huh? Because I think
I think it's going to cost us. It's going to cost us a lot.
Too much
we
money.
A trade in for that. Yeah.
Okay. Two other things. What about the third pick? I mean, what's San Francisco going to do?
Justin Fields.
So it is, huh? It's going to be Fields.
Yeah. Me and Jack disagree, but I think it's a smokescreen. I think it's Justin Fields.
Really? What do you think about the next thing that goes into that is, what do you think about the Brett Favre? I mean, Brett Favre. Look at how far back I just went, didn't I? Oh my God. Aaron Rodgers.
This has been brewing ever since they brought in Jordan Love. And I had them down. I was saying to Jack before the news broke that they're either going to take Trayvon Morag or they're going to take Rondale Moore, but they have to take a wide receiver.
Really?
Yeah.
So, that's Green Bay.
Green Bay, yeah.
Okay. Do you think that Rodgers stays? Is he staying put?
No. I think they're going to have to work on a way of getting him out. And I think the situation is the Cowboys probably offered everything for Russell Wilson. So I think it could be between Washington, Raiders, Broncos could make a late run. And I think you're looking at
the 49ers. So you don't see nothing in the 49ers in that third pick? Maybe some sort of crazy deal going on there, so they can pick themselves up a quarterback?
No, because they're a young team, and I think at the moment they want somebody in the long term. And I was saying this to Jacob, like situation in New England, we really like him, but Bills doesn't want to put us in a situation where we're good for 3 seasons and then suddenly we're trying to find somebody again. The 49ers are looking for a quarterback that can be there for 6-7 years at least. And they'll roll the dice with Justin Fields or Mac Jones. Just like the Falcons are going to, I think, will roll the dice with Trey Lance and look to trade Matt Ryan.
Really? You don't think that the Falcons then will go after Pitts?
No, I think they've got to take a quarterback.
Interesting. All right.
If you look at their cap situation, they have to try and get rid of Julio Jones before they can obviously bring the rookies in. Matt Ryan's got 41. I know they've restructured him, but it would be easier to get rid of Matt Ryan's contract than it would be Julio Jones' contract.
Okay. That makes sense. That makes sense
So
right there. So, what do you think then that New England's going to do for a quarterback? Are they? I mean, they can't just stay where they're at, right?
no, the option for us is we might have to go with Mac Jones at 15. But if we don't take a quarterback, I've got us taking Rashad Bateman or Nick Bolton.
But what are they going to do for a quarterback?
We're going to have to take Mac Jones. I think Mac Jones falls. And I think we'll be able to get Mac Jones in there. The other option is, I think, because I was saying to Jack earlier, I think Washington at 19 is going to be the next test, because I think that they'll end up taking either Kyle Trask or Kellen Mond. And I can see the Bucs taking Kellen Mond if they don't take an inside linebacker at 32.
Okay. Okay. Trying to get this thing out here. Let's see.
Because the Bucs should. I mean, I was looking at the inside linebackers available, and really the Bucs should be looking at someone like Carlos Basham or Gregory Rousseau if he drops that far down. But I don't think that will happen. Also, they've got Xavier Collins that they can take as well. But they should really be taking inside linebacker, considering that JJP is 32 and Levante David's 31. So they need to looking at the linebacker core.
Okay. So say everything goes sort of the way it's quote supposed to go, because as a draft, don't nothing ever go like that. But say it goes out. So what do you see as the first surprise? I just did a nice piece today with 4 surprises, and I want to know who you think is the surprises that are coming.
My biggest surprise is that the Vikings take Caleb Farley at 14.
At 14?
Yeah.
Okay. I can see that. You know why? Because that guy right there, if you remember, how long ago was it? A month, maybe, where he was the pick for number 9 for the Broncos, hands down. He was going to be the first cornerback off the board, and then all of a sudden, he's slipping or surprisingly going to be at 14.
He's had 2 back surgeries in 18. He's had 2 back surgeries in 18 months, which is the issue of why he slipped down.
Okay, yeah, I can see that. I mean, I understand that especially, but they knew that back then that he was going to have something. So, I mean, I just think it's funny how the draft works. You know what I mean? How
what's your take on the Raiders this year? Do you think they'll take O-line because obviously they've traded Trent Brown and Gabe Jackson, or do you think they'll go linebackers?
True to their form, I mean, I would generally say a linebacker, but I think you're right. I think they need that O-line this time around, so they'll probably
because I
go
got them with taking Kwity Paye or Wyatt Davies.
Who's that?
Kwity Paye, Missouri, as an edge rusher, or I've got them take I've got them taking Nick Bolton as linebacker.
He's good too.
And Wyatt Davis is the offensive lineman. I think they should take.
Yeah, the guy from Michigan is. I mean,
Missouri.
Missouri is really good on that D line. The 2 guys from Miami, though, those are your studs right there. The two outside guys on Miami's D line. I'm trying to find him. I want to talk to you about somebody.
Quincy Roche is going to be going 2nd or 3rd round.
2nd or 3rd.
Yeah.
Okay. You think it's going to be that far down?
Yeah. Well, the board. He's kind of slipped down the board, but even the Giants were looking at him, and the Giants believe they can get him in the 2nd or 3rd round, but he's not bumped his way up any boards in the last couple of days.
I got one for you. How about Carlos Basham from Alabama?
I've got Basham going to the Browns because I know they've got Clowney. Clowney won't play a full season, and I think Basham fits in perfectly at the Browns.
Really? What number there?
I've got them taking the Browns, so they'll be taking 26.
Number 26. So you do think he makes the 1st round?
Yeah. Xavier Collins could make the 1st round, only if the Bucs take him at 32, because the Ravens should take Landon Dickinson at center. Bills should take Travis Etienne. The Packers should take Rondale Moore. Saints will take Kadarius Toney. The Ravens will take Christian Darrisaw as well. They like their own lineman. And the Jags before that should be taking Micah Parsons or Tevin Jenkins, or failing that, Jalen Mayfield.
I have a couple more for you here that I want your opinion on. How about Dylan Radnews from North Dakota State? He's an offensive tackle.
Yeah.
And he's, to me, a big sleeper at that position.
Well,
I have him sneaking in. I see how he could sneak into the first round.
Yeah. I mean, to be honest with you, the teams that need to take offensive line are, and I was saying to Jack, is the Panthers need to protect Sam Darnold if he's going to be the starter. Mm-hmm. The Chargers need to protect Justin Herbert. The Cardinals need to improve their offensive line for Kyler Murray. And the Raiders need to rebuild their offensive line for Derek Carr. So there are four teams early on that have got to take offensive linemen.
Mm-hmm. And I got on the backside of the first round, you have Washington and Green Bay, who both also could use a little help. And that's where I see him maybe slipping in there. Maybe Washington decides he's too good of a prospect to let slip any farther and take the best guy off the board at that time. How do you feel about defensive backs? There's so many of them out there today. I mean, this is going to be a golden gem draft for defensive backs. Where do you see a guy like Kevin Joseph, though?
Second, sorry.
What's that?
Say that again. It broke up.
Kevin Joseph.
Oh, second round. I'm likely for the Pats second round. Okay. So the people, the cornerbacks I've got being taken today are Patrick Surtain. Mm-hmm. I've got J.C. Horn being taken by the Cardinals because Patrick Peterson's gone. Mm-hmm. I've got the chance of Asante Samuel Jr. being taken by the Colts. And obviously DBs, I've got people like Morag being taken. I've got what are the safeties have I got being taken at the moment? There's one more.
What about in the first round? See, here's my thought. Kevin Joseph, if you took a look at him, is a hard-nosed. He's got that.
Well, he's going at 96.
Yeah, and he's got a real hard-nosed attitude. Yeah. He's got one of those attitudes that makes you that a cornerback has to have. And the Jaguars sitting at 25, are they 25, 26?
Yeah, the Jags 25, that. Yeah.
They always get one of those cornerbacks just like that, and then they lose them, So they're in need of another one. And to me, he fits right into Urban Meyer's theme that he's going after. And Joseph is a little underrated in my book. I watched him a few years now playing in the SEC, and he's just got that little something. And I think he could sneak to the Jaguars, and I think that would be a great pickup for them.
Would you take him over Eric Stokes or DJ Daniels from Georgia and from Georgia?
Yeah, but I got both of them too, and I'm going to be a little biased because of the Florida thing. But both of those corners from Georgia are good. I wouldn't down them at all like that. But I have them more in the second, maybe third, where I think Joseph just had more of that. He has more of that shutdown corner type of thing that the NFL needs. I mean, that you want when you're an NFL team. Yeah. Those other two are going to fit great into some system. And they're gonna succeed big time. But I think Kevin Joseph is one of those guys who can stay on an island.
Well, yeah. To be honest with you, in my mock drafts, as you've seen, I'm taking Kelvin Joseph, and I'm taking Benjamin St. Just, and I'm taking Jamar Johnson as my safety in the fourth round. So those three for me are a perfect fit.
I like Johnson too. I like him a whole lot. I also like the guys from UCF.
Tate Gowan,
Robinson,
and Aaron Robinson.
Yes. Those two are also two more that have a really good. And I know I keep saying this, but they have that cornerback attitude, And you got to love that when you see those guys who want that position, want to play that, tell you to bring it on. So I like those guys as well coming down at that backside of that. How here's the other big question was today that I seen over and over was wide receivers, and I know you really went deep into the wide receivers. So do you think that this year are any longer because the NFL has changed their rules, like they've been saying so much, that it's easier for a smaller receiver, to be able to make it now?
Yeah, I mean the pass interference rule really needs to be looked at. I think they need to look at contact off the line, and they need to look at, because the wide receivers draw on a lot of contact themselves. So at the moment, the DB or the secondary is being called more often, and they need to start looking at, if you're a big guy, you're drawing a person in, but like holding. I think that for me last year, there's lots of games where there was holding on both sides, yet the DB was being called for holding. So they've got to start saying, right, yes, you can push off the line, but the contact can be made when you've got the ball. But I think at the moment, DBs are very, very scared to play man-to-man now, or be seen to make any type of contact or go too early, because they're getting called straight away. So it's easier for people to get separation now, especially if you've got speed, because all you've got to do is be quicker than somebody. If they can't keep up with you, then you're gone.
Which makes a guy like Kyle Pitts even more astounding, because he's got that size.
That's why Rashad Bateman's an interesting prospect for me as well. And I think he's another big guy that he's got a tight end build to him, but I think he will flourish under the issue with the PI rule and holding.
Right. Nice. Who is the receiver that you love, but you haven't seen him talked about a whole lot?
For me personally, I love Josh Palmer.
Really?
From Tennessee.
Okay, yeah.
He is my guy. He's my guy in the kind of the fourth, fifth round. And I always try to get him, because at the moment he's going at 71. So I always try and get him around the 122, 120 mark, because he's that good filler guy. Don't get me, he's not quite Edelman level, but the way he cuts in, the tough catches he makes, his stop and start speed, the way he reads routes, he just has the Edelman aspect to him that you can put him in and he'll be able to extend plays. And he's a guy I really, really like.
Speaking of that same style of guy, only better, how about Kadarius Toney?
Kadarius Toney, for me, I've got him going to the Saints. I think me and Jack, I think he's a gadget player. That's the reason why Grimes is going at 190. I think he's got good hands, good speed, good reach. He adjusts his body well, but I just think he's a home run player. I don't think he's like your Michael Gallup type player that you really have to appreciate. Is the guy that can knows where the sideline is to extend a play 2 or 3 yards and move the chains. Tony's not a guy you're going to go to move the chain 4 yards.
He has the craziest ability, once he gets the ball, to not be stopped, though. I mean, I did this highlight video of him where it's literally like a cheat code. I mean, the guy is just, he has the ability to stop and go on an instant, which made him virtually put him in a slot position. And there is a move that he makes which is virtually unguardable. I mean, he can be that guy who can get you that first down and more when you need it, for sure. You know what I'm saying? I think he could prosper.
I think Terrence Marshall didn't have a great pro day, but Terrence Marshall is somebody that I think is very talented.
Marshall, huh? We got 4 minutes and 50 seconds. The Jaguars are on the clock. I don't know why they would need the 4 minutes and 50 seconds. Just come out and tell us. So are you predicting anything other than Lawrence to walk out?
No, Trevor Lawrence and Zach Wilson in first two.
Yeah. It's crazy because I told the guys this the last time here in Jacksonville. He's already ascended to this level around here, and he's not even got here yet. We haven't even – I mean, I know they're going to take him, but to me, that's the kind of pressure that will make and break and always does those number one picks. can you come into a city such as even Zach is going to do in New York, where they're looking for you to make them better than what they had, which, by the way, ain't too hard when you only won one game, but to make them better than what they were, and to have them both, they'll be ascended to saying, you are the man, you are everything right now, you got all of this. And then the first interception that comes along, you get those boos that come with that first interception. How does that, you know what I mean? Does Lawrence have that?
I mean, one thing that surprised me is the Giants with Daniel Jones. That
Mm-hmm.
you've got all these weapons, and for some reason there is blind faith that Daniel Jones is the man. And the Giants have never gone, we're looking for a quarterback, or we're looking for a new guy to come in. I think this year is key for them, because I think they'll really regret not taking someone like Zach Wilson or Trey Lance, because I just don't think Daniel Jones is the answer.
Where do the Giants pick? I don't even know that.
Giants are number 11. They're taking Jalen Wardle.
Will they have a quarterback left at 11? There won't be one there, huh?
No, I think that they've got a lot of interest in Waddle. They've already had him in. They've talked to him, and I think that's, if he's still on the board, it's a done deal.
I mean, that's great. They've always had a receiver such as him, and he'll just be the next in line there in the Giants, I guess. But like you said, what good is he if you don't have that solid quarterback? So if you don't think they're going with Jones, or do you think they are going to stick with him, and that's just a bad move?
Well, I think if they wanted a quarterback, they would have looked at trading up, and they haven't even mentioned that. I think they know they can get Waddle at 11, or there's a high chance they get him at 11. They add a piece in there, and then I think they'll probably look, if he has a bad season or things aren't going their way, they'll probably look to try and move next year. But I think it's too short notice for them to move now. And I think the Broncos with Drew Lock, do you give Drew Lock another year and just say, look, what can you do? We'll give you some weapons. We'll improve the O-line. You do your job, and then we know if you can be our QB or not. But I think it's hard to make a last-ditch decision on him, because he's not really had the chance. And the same with Tua. Tua could lose his job to Brissett, but we don't know how that's going to work out. They have a camp to do that. And I think the Eagles give Jalen Hurts a chance this year. I don't think they just decide to give up on him. I think they have to give him a year, see where he goes, and see if they've got the guy or not.
I think it's very important for Locke this year, because I mean, you have to, right? There comes a point where you can't go over and wait too longer, or you mess things up. So this has to be, and I think that was the whole reason to get Bridgewater, is the GM said many a times he wants competition for Locke, right? I think they looked at the draft, and to me, see, this is why, now I could be totally wrong, but this is why I don't see them taking a quarterback, because he wanted that competition, because he said, we're riding with Locke this year. So they already know, and they've already stated they wanted to ride with Locke. So they want some competition, though, because they want to fire him up. They want to get him going. But when you look at it and you look at those deals, and you saw that Bridgewater was sitting there, and then you say, is Bridgewater any worse, any better than these two guys that may be left? So when you're looking at that, you're like, okay, we really want to ride with Locke, but do we want to cause all this with this guy? So to me, I think they went with the Bridgewater instead, saying he's either equal or better to those ones that were going to be left. And then they're going to give him this year, because if he fails, if he gets hurt like he's done the last one, Bridgewater can handle that. He can come in and he can play ample enough to help them out. And who knows, he's even – am I not wrong? I believe the GM for the Broncos was his. There it is, number 1 pick. What time is it where you're at, by the way?
1:26 in the morning.
Oh my God! Here it is. Trevor. They went with Zach Wilson. No, okay. Hey, everybody in Jacksonville would have flipped a little. All right, there he is. He's now a Jaguar.
No, I think there'll be some good cornerbacks taken, some good wide receivers taken, some strong safeties, inside linebackers. So I think there'll be a good mixture of O-line to defense.
I just want to see number 3 right now. I got a hefty little wager on the number 3 pick, so I want to
Who have you gone with?
Um, who
Mac
would I?
Jones.
No, I went with Fields.
That's right.
He,
Yeah,
he
because
was,
Jack thinks it's Mac. Jack thinks it's Mac Jones.
the thing is Fields was going off at plus 350 when I took it, and now it's at 500. So it's a little scared of the money's obviously going some other place, you know. So,
What's the Trey Lance odds at the moment going 3?
What is his odds right now?
Did you see Trey Lance odds?
Let me see if it's still there, and I can bring it up and we can look, because it was right. Oh, of course. That didn't work. All right, give me 1 second here, and I can pull that baby right back up, and we can go and we can see all of the nice odds. Let's see. Here they are. All right. Can you see that?
Yeah.
Okay. So I will move this down right now, and we have outright.
So I'm intrigued. So I think he's definitely going to the Falcons, but it'll be good to see, because I know the 49ers still like him. So I don't know if there's an outside chance to go with Trey Lance.
Well, the whole thing just changed on me here, because it was completely all the way up here now, and now they only have these few up here. So I guess this site right here is doing me dirty right now, because looks like they only have the three.
Have you got the Bengals taking Jamar Chase or Penny Sewell?
Chase.
Yeah, and I've got the Dolphins taking Penny Sewell.
If he's available, then for sure, because pairing him back up with his old quarterback, could be something to see. And think of all those Bengals Tiger fans that will become Bengals fans like immediately, right? There it is. Oh, the Jets did it. They're on the clock, but they're all dancing and clapping. So
they know what's happening already.
They already know. Yeah, they got 4 minutes and they're in there dancing. Okay, let the rest of us know. No, I ain't worried about that.
And I've got Devonta Smith going to the Lions at 7. I think that's pretty much done and dusted.
That's pretty good too. Again, they've always been known, the Lions, to have one of those receivers. They always have one. So it'll be nice to see him go there.
I just don't trust Terrell Williams and Brashad Perryman as wide receiver 1 and 2.
Yeah, I mean, no, but they could be good as 2 and 3. You know.
And but as we know, TJ will be good tight end for Goff this year anyway. So fancy wise, his value will shoot up.
Saying that though, real quick, how do you think Goff is going to do in Detroit?
I think he'll do well. I think if they can improve the O-line, they've got, the defense is the defense. It's an awful defense. It's going to take a couple of years to do that. But if Swift can have a decent running game, and he can get involved in the backfield, and they can get someone like Devonta Smith, give them a good offense, then they can relieve the defense, and they should be able to put up 20, 25 points a game, and they should be able to win more games. Because Goff's an accurate quarterback, but he just doesn't like the world up. He just does what he needs to do to win games. He's efficient, good game manager.
Yeah. And Stafford was good, but there comes a time when a team is a certain way and a guy's been there for so long that it just becomes the same old routine every day. And that's why I don't think they were getting any better. I don't think it was due to anybody. So I think that change of throwing in somebody new, I mean, I think
Matt Stafford, with now you've given him Robert Woods, Cooper Kupp, Van Jefferson, Tyler Higbee, and then if they draft another wide receiver, I think he will be phenomenal. I know I've always had him in fantasy, and you have good weeks and bad weeks, but I think he could be really, really good. Not just fantasy and real life. He could be putting up 35 touchdowns this year minimum.
I'm totally with you, because I've always thought he was a great quarterback. It was just one of those situations. I think the team, the whole thing, kind of like that. They say that term for basketball, that they're not listening. They don't hear the coach anymore. You
Yeah,
know, you see that in basketball all the time, and I think it's the same for all sports, though, and it goes for even positions, not just coaches. So the pick is in. The pick is in. If this is anything other than what we think it is, but the real
it's going
stuff
to be.
starts on
I'll
number
write
three.
down Zach Wilson now and say.
Yeah. Well, I hope something happens though in this first round. Otherwise, we're going to have nothing to talk about for a post game on Sunday because it'll just be what we all knew was going to happen, right? So there
I
has
think
to be some
I think day two will be more. There'll be more intrigue in day two than day three. I think there's lots of top quality inside linebackers and receivers, and where the receivers go, especially the running backs as well. Though they're three key positions that could really throw the draft because it's hard to place them.
What do you think about trades? Do you think there's going to be a lot of trades, or
Yeah,
are the trades basically
I think
done?
the Pats will operate, especially Bill's very, very good at kind of third round, fourth round, fifth round at finding gems. And I think there could be some movement, especially from the Pats, in terms of trying to get third and fourth round picks in and, getting rid of sevenths and trying to move stuff. But I can see him adding mid draft rather than bottom or top.
As he just said it before he even announced it, though. Huh? He said, and Zach Wilson is the new, and he's gone to the podium. Here it goes.
Yeah, it's got his plan. So I need Justin Fields now, and I'm 3 of 3.
There you go, man. You're on the stage. Get that hat on now, and you all the weight that comes with the hat, bro.
And do you think he'll do well the first year, or do you think it'll be a bit of a struggle?
I think that he has what it takes. It's so difficult to talk about New York, though. I'm a big head person, so I just feel like, as you can probably tell, I've already said this a million times at different points, but I think it's a mental thing, and you can come into some place and just act like you belong there, and sometimes that works. And then there's sometimes where you go in with just that little bit of hesitation because, oh my God, it's New York, and if that's how you come in, then it could be another Sam.
Well, I think they need to do. I don't see Devontae Parker as a wide receiver one, and I said this last year. And I think if you're the Dolphins, if you're clever, you try and find somebody that can be that go-to guy.
Yeah,
because Preston Williams kind of is in and out of games, and he's somebody else I'm not sold on either. But they just need that. They need that guy, that game changer, especially running. I know they can't sort out running back, and for me, they need somebody's in there. They need a workhorse back, a difference maker.
Who is that? You know what though? You talk about Miami, right?
Jets.
Oh, the Jets. Oh, yeah, they do. They have another pick coming up, though, right? They got another one in the first round, not too far away. They can snag a great running back. In fact, I think I have them taking. I don't know if I have them got Harris, I believe.
Yeah, well, I've got them first round. I've only got 2 running backs being taken in the first round, which are Najee Harris to the Steelers and Travis Etienne to the Bills.
Okay, see, and I have the Steelers taking one too because I think that they have to. They had no running game. They have a aging quarterback who's obviously in his last run, and they are known for their running game. When have they never had that back that was a power pounding back? And Najee gives it just that. He has everything that every other top Steelers running back has had.
And I think for me, you're dangerous going into a season and you have Benny Snell as your wide receiver, as your top running back.
Yeah.
I like Anthony McFarland. Jalen Samuel for me should be on the roster.
Yeah, I mean they need a lot of help there, and they have a opportunity this year to grab a back like that and I don't see how you can go any other direction.
What do you think to Trey Sermon and Michael Carter? Are you big fans of them, or?
I love Michael Carter. In fact, I'm going to tell you right now, I believe he could be the best back in the draft. And here's why. The few times that I've got to really watch him play, he reminded me of Barry Sanders. And I have a long history there with him, but he just reminds me of, you watch the way that his vision, his running, his cuts, his moves, like the guy has got something special. I love Carter.
Because he's going round 3, but then you got Chuba Hubbard, which I think is very similar. He's going round 5.
Yeah, he is. They are similar to me. Hubbard's more of a, I hate to say it, more of a power back than the scatter. He can lower his head down and stuff. I just think that Carter has the ability to make those moves that make a defender look silly. You know, just those one of those guys who he can be going like this, and then or he hits that hole the way he can hit that hole. All you need to give him is that crack, and he's gone. You know, but I love it.
I really like
he's better.
Mitchell in the 6th round as well. He's somebody that's not being talked about. But if I'm the Pats and I'm going for a running back, I would take Elijah Mitchell at my 197, and take a chance on him.
We got 3 minutes. What does your TV say?
3 minutes, yeah. I'm
Okay,
the same, and I'm going for this is my Justin Fields.
Yep, me too. This is for the money right here. 2 minutes from the money. I gotta stop doing that stuff. Is what I gotta do.
Do you think the Packers are able to trade into the top 10?
I don't know if they're going to be able to, because of the top 10 and the people that have their needs there. The only one that doesn't really need, that could still get away with getting what they need, maybe the Broncos, because they need that defensive back. And if they trade it all the way down to there, they're still going to get a quality defensive back. I mean, a real quality defensive back still down there. So that could be the biggest possible move there. But for Green Bay, they just, I think they got so many different problems that they got to address that. I don't know if this draft is the solver for their problems right now. You know what I mean?
Who would, if you're the Broncos, who would be your top tight end between Noah Fant and Kyle Pitts?
Kyle Pitts. Oh God, I would take Pitts all the way. But the thing is Fant was hurt and didn't really get all that he could get out of himself. I believe this year he's going to be a top-notch tight end.
Do you think he could be a Tonyan Dalton Schultz for last year?
He can. He can be a difference maker. The question is, are they going to do a scheme, and are they going to get him the ball? Because they aren't exactly the throw to the tight end all the time type of a guy. Pick his in. They like their wide receivers.
But I think Jerry Jeudy, I think will be phenomenal. I think Cortland Sutton will see his targets drop. KJ Hamler should be more involved as well, and I'm really looking forward to see what Tim Patrick can do this year.
Patrick is great. My pick last year was Hamilton. I thought he was going to have a breakout year. That was one of my bad picks last year because
Deshaun Hamilton.
Yes, I swore that he had it. I mean, everything that he did the season before at the end showed he has what it takes, that he was going to be that guy. Him and Locke connected on those last 5 games of the season. They were connecting like crazy. So I said, nobody was watching him. I even drafted him on my, and he didn't come through like I thought he was going to come through. So
I think
he's an enigma.
The Melvin Gordon situation. Melvin Gordon is not a running back one.
No. And letting go
the Texans was hard.
Letting Lindsey go, that was I don't understand that myself. There's nothing they can do to make me understand that, because that guy was good. I mean, sure, he's probably what you call would you call it a gimmick back maybe, but at the same time he gave me something. Huh?
Oh, Trey Lance.
They did?
Trey Lance. Whoa.
Okay, I'm writing him a letter. Trey Lance, you owe me $50. No. Dang, I wonder what he was going off at. I wish that thing would have stayed where it was so I could have seen what he was going off at. Trey Lance. I just don't know. Did he do enough to be number 3 quarterback?
He only played 17 games and never lost.
Yeah, but North Dakota State.
Does that mean now then that does that mean that if you're the Falcons, you're taking Kyle Pitts?
I think you better. That's the best guy on the board, isn't it? I mean, well, I know what you're going for because you say they need that quarterback, huh? So now you're looking at Fields coming up next, aren't you? See, I know you already. You know what I want to say though, real quick? I was wrong because a guy who, when you win every game, I've always been that guy who said, I don't care what league you're playing in. I don't care what you're doing. If you win every game that you play, then you're good. I don't care what they tell you. Oh, but it was such a peanut league. They didn't. No, if you win every game that you play, you're good. So I can't take that away from him. If you know, I can't. Look at that.
I just think that was risky.
Wow.
Surprises me because Justin Fields is a perfect fit.
That surprises me. That surprises me. So who needs a quarterback next then? Oh, Atlanta. Who after Atlanta needs a quarterback?
I don't think they desperately do. I think they would like the piece. But
do you know what else too? That lines them up for a good trade right now. Because
Mac Jones could I think they would take Mac Jones over Justin Fields.
Really?
Atlanta.
Yeah, honestly, to me, they're both kind of the same quarterback. That's how I feel. So I'm not going to pick one over the other really and say one was better. Not for me anyway. And I watched enough of Jones to make me want to throw stuff at the TV all the time.
But that was a shock. I was not expecting that.
Yeah. He's a happy man. I don't blame you. Way to go. I don't know what you did to move up to 3, but nice job.
I still think Jimmy G starts, at least for the next year.
Yeah, that's weird to think about what they're doing with him because didn't they have a chance to get rid of him in the offseason?
They did, but they're asking too much.
I see. One of those things where we'll give him up if we can finagle somebody, but
well, New England offered N'Keal Harry, and I think it was a 4th for him. But I think the 49ers were wanting kind of a second for him. And I don't think the Pats went, we trade him to you, so we know what he can do.
Mm-hmm.
So I just think they weren't going to get what they wanted.
Right. Yeah, I don't know. There's not really much he can't do, is there?
Unless you gave Jimmy G to the Bears.
What's crazy
if they don't get a quarterback.
Every quarterback has been linked to the Bears, and yet they've done nothing, right? And it just makes you wonder: do they want to get rid of the quarterback they have, or I mean?
Well, Andy Dalton's only got a year's contract.
And
that's the reason why they've got to go O-line.
Got you. It's always that money. Always that money. All right, well, here we go right here, man. 3 minutes, and the Falcons are picking, and this is where the real fun starts because, well, actually, we thought we knew where 3 was, so I guess the fun already started. Yeah,
it's got to be Kyle Pitts.
But here it goes right here, huh? Steelers signed quarterback Mason Randolph.
That's another year. So they reckon that Big Ben, he's the one that's gonna have a shot at being the quarterback when Big Ben goes.
Oh yeah, really? Maybe they need to get a couple more first round picks. Come on, I'm
But yeah,
anxious to see because if Pitts goes right now, man, he'll be the highest tight end picked in the NFL
ever.
draft.
Because it was fifth. Before that, it was the guy that was taken fifth.
That's right. So this will be some nice history for the Florida Gators. All the Gator fans out there, come on.
Which round do you think Grimes will be taken in?
You know, I wrote that article and I had to admit I'm way too biased when it comes to the Florida Gators. I mean, I can't see straight for anything when it comes to them. I would have Kyle Trask in the first round. I would have him in the top 15 if you really wanted to know the truth. But I love Grimes. I love Tony. I think they're both phenomenal players. So again, it's probably because I'm just way too. I could see anybody else, but for anybody on the Gator squad, all I see is them being good. So it's one of those loves that I've had since I was real little. You know,
Yeah,
the Broncos, the Gators, and the Nuggets are ingrained inside of me. So those are I should never do stuff on those guys. You know, it's just
no wonder the call then to have the Joker as MVP.
yeah. Only this time it's warranted. Come on now.
Embiid is the MVP.
He hasn't played enough. Come on, you have to be
When
on
he
the
does play,
floor.
he's phenomenal.
But you have to be there all the time to be. And not only that, but if you look at the way that Philadelphia plays when he's gone, they're still a decent team. If you took the Joker off of the Nuggets, they would be hard pressed to be an 8th seed.
Well, we're blown it. The injuries we've had at the moment, we're screwed. We can't get the top 5 starting.
Mm-hmm. Pick is in. Oh, they said Pitt's already. You're getting it before I am somehow. So who it is?
Yes.
Liam is there, by the way. I wish he would have popped in so we could get some of the.
That makes me happy then because he's Justin Fields is slipping down the board.
There it is, baby.
Mac Jones should be available at 15.
Props. At 15, you think, huh? So Belichick's gamble of staying where he was at may pay off, huh?
It may pay off, yeah, because we're dealing with 2 other teams that might want a quarterback, but only one might take one, so I think we should have a chance of getting one.
Well, that's good. I don't have to go far to see Pitts, at least, you know. It's only 4 hours away from me. I could take a drive up to Atlanta. Not a problem.
That offense will be phenomenal now with Julio, Ridley, Gage, Pitts.
Do they keep Julio then?
They just need a running game. The issue is now they just obviously they've got Ito Smith as their main running back now.
Do they keep Julio now?
Well, not unless they rejig, but I think cap issues for them is huge. So someone big's got to go. And Julio's on the biggest contract because Ridley's done his rookie contract. Gage is on a huge contract. Matt Ryan or Julio Jones are the only 2 big contracts they've got that they can move.
Wow. Again, sometimes everything comes down to that money, and you people. Why did they do this? Because it's that money. Look at them numbers right there.
I know. He's an absolute beast. He's the only good tight end in the draft, apart from Brevin Jordan and Pat Firma. But Pat Firma and Brevin Jordan aren't going till round 4, round 5 minimum.
Mm-hmm. I hope they keep him as a tight end too. I've heard a lot of people saying he should be a wideout, but
well, I think you get the hybrids though. It's a bit like one player I really like, Dimitri Felton from UCLA.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know like DeAndre Swift and Antonio Gibson that came out of the draft last year? There's a lot of halfback, wide receiver type players that are coming out of college now, especially outside the backfield, and they're brilliant. And Eli Stove is another one. And I think they're more and more coming through. They are gadget players, but they can change the game. And I
he
think
is
tight end,
unreal.
wide receiver is more. You're going to see it more and more of a guy that can do both jobs because he can block as well.
When you look at it and you look at them highlights that they're showing, I mean, to me, he did do that. You could see
Yeah.
many a times where he was lined up on the outside or in a slot even, and not as a tight end. And when he was in that slot position, that's what you call unguardable. Okay, that he all he has to do is go post up, so to speak, and
Yeah.
there's nothing you can do. Matt Ryan, Mike Davis, Julio Jones, Calvin Ridley, and Kyle Pitts.
That
That's
is
not
a
a bad
nice.
offense. That is not a bad offense. I'll say that right now.
Where would you put Kyle Pitts for drafting fancy tight ends? Would you put him in the top 5?
I think you would. I think you would have to, but there's some great tight ends in football right now, though. I mean, so but he's got to be at least in the top 5. He has to be.
So I would draft him. I would draft Jamar Chase, and I would draft Waddle this year if they land at the Giants and Bengals.
They're happy right there. Way to go, guys. Chase is going to be something because I'd seen something on him too that said that the Bengals were looking at a different position though. So that'll be interesting to see because I think that's where he would best be fit. I saw him do a pre-draft interview too, where they asked him about has he been contacted by the Bengals or does he know anything, and he wouldn't say anything. He's like, I'm not. He go, I will say this: it will be nice to meet up with my old friend or whatever, you know. So you're like, okay, all
Yeah,
right,
but
but he
there
was,
would have been work done because even if he falls to the Dolphins, he could still be the best wide receiver for the Dolphins.
yeah, and I really like that though. I think that
Because
could be.
Penny Sewell is going to go to the Bengals or the Dolphins. Which order they go is we'll find out now. But those
Yeah,
two,
we
that
had
is the next
3
order.
minutes. We'll know which way they're going anyway. Use top pick on offense 5 previous 6 drafts. Here's the thing too is about the Broncos real quick is I'm glad that Elway's not doing this
Yes, he
because
can't draft quarterback.
I'll tell you why. If Elway was drafting this year, I promise you we'd still take Caleb Farley. It doesn't even matter if today he announced he was going to have another surgery today. Elway would have took him because he said, that's his man. I've had him since the beginning. There's no need to take him. It doesn't matter. That's how he always was, and that's why he failed at what he did because he wouldn't go with the flow. He wouldn't change when the things changed. He was too much of a, I know what that guy can do, and so I'm still going to take him because he's still going to pan out that way. Never did.
And when do you think the Broncos need to be looking for the next Von Miller?
They should be doing that now. I don't know. I mean, look, Vaughn said he's happy. He's ready to make the Broncos good again. But it wasn't but 6 months ago when he was saying something different. And that was the first time that I ever heard him kind of give an indication that he would be willing to leave Denver. So in my mind, when I heard that, now when he's saying what he's saying, I say, well, you have to say that, right? I mean, you gotta now say, I love the Denver Broncos and I'm going to help them because you have to say that right now. But is that the way he really feels? So to me, even if he stays, he's starting on that backside. We have
Bradley, I like a lot.
Yeah, and we have, but you need that. You need somebody. And is that the guy from Michigan or?
Well, Bradley Chubb, I do like. I think he's brilliant, but I think
State. Penn State.
Oh, the Penn State guy is Zabian Collins.
Yeah. Okay. Yes. And I liked him. I was watching a lot of film of him the other day, by accident, really. But when I started watching him, then I seen something where they said the Broncos were looking at it, and that's why I kept going. And I did. I like that guy. I like the way he I like the way he plays. Pick his
Nick Bolton is another guy from Missouri, and he's phenomenal.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I know you were mentioning him earlier. I seen him play a few times, but I haven't really got got deep into him, but I've seen him play when the Gators played Missouri. I even have a nice video of the nice fight that happened that day. But they went to a fight and a football game broke out.
And then there's one guy, Justin Hilliard, Ohio, and he will be. He's going at 180. He's going about 160 to 180, and I always get him in the 5th round of the mock drafts, and he is phenomenal. And he's a guy that I really, really like. Is when I hope the Pats pick him up. If we can get Jamin Davis from Kentucky and Justin Hilliard from Ohio, then I think we've got 2 young linebackers we can partner up.
I like the guy from Kentucky. He has a mean streak inside of him. He can get a little crazy, so you gotta love that, you know.
But he's room. He could be back end of the 1st round. That's the reckon that the highest he can be, but he could sneak into the 1st round.
I like him a lot. I remember doing a piece on that game and concentrating on him when I started looking at the defense and seeing, and I really liked him. I think he's going to be really good. Cool. So come on now. Here's the pick. Did you get it yet? Here's the pick. Come on.
Jamar Chase.
Really?
Jamar Chase. Yep.
Chase. Well, there it is. The connection is back. So all them Tiger fans are now Bengal fans.
It's a good one because Justin Fields is still on the board. He's still on the board.
Well, man, this has been great, but I'm going to cut this off short right now for us. But I appreciate you coming on, man. It was fun.
Brilliant. And then I'm looking forward to doing the post show on Sunday and discussing how day 1 goes, day 2, day 3, and the fancy implications on the players to pick up.
100%, man. That's going to be great, and I look forward to it too. And everybody should be here on Sunday, so we should have a good time talking about all this good stuff. But I appreciate you coming on, man. Especially at your time in the early mornings. Ireland, correct?
Ireland, yeah. So I'm always up this early in NFL anyway, so I'm used to it now. But no, pleasure's always, Paul, and catch up with you Sunday.
Yes, sir. Okay. Thank you so much, man.